WTLZ Saginaw with Steve Harvey in the morning.
Mornings can't get no better. It's the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
And simply the best R&B all day.
Y'all be jamming.
Listen live on your smartphone, in your car, at work, or live at KissWTLZ.com. We're Kiss 107.1.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen. I am excited to be with you yet for another hour of conversation. We got a good show set up for you on today. We're going to talk about what is going down over in the township. There's been a lot of conversation about it. A lot has happened, but we're going to get into this conversation. We're going to talk about it. So please like, tag, and share this conversation with those that you know. We're talking about Saginaw County Commissioner Rich Spitzner. I haven't said anything about it up until this point, but we're going to get into it on tonight. Amaya Bradley, Rich Spitzner, and what is taking place in our county and township government. We're going to talk about it. There's another meeting coming up this coming week, and I think you need to know what's happening in our community. For all of you that are listening to us on your FM dial, 107.1 FM, I certainly thank you for your continued listenership. And then all of those, shout out to all of my social media engagement individuals. We certainly appreciate you continually coming in. I see in the social media stream, a number of you were in here, but the first shout out goes to Vivian Rankins. Hello to you as well. We are here at Straight Talk, where we give it to you straight, no chaser, no filter. And I like to keep to that theme. And you know how we do. We always start off by talking about what's on my mind. Yes. It is official. The Lions have clinched a playoff spot. The first time since they've been in the playoff field in consecutive years since 1994. Remember last year, we thought last year was going to be it. But this year, let's keep our fingers crossed. Good to see you out there, Bishop Holden. Good to see you. I saw you from a distance today. Didn't get a chance to say hello to you, but God bless you. Little brother Bulls, love you, my brother. We haven't talked in a while. We need to connect. We've only been talking through social media and text messages, so I hope all is well. Stacy Crosby, you are coming in. Shout out to you. Get well. It's great to see you. All of those that are out there. Yes, one pride. The Lions are doing their thing. So it's the first time since 1994 that they've been in consecutive positions to be in a bid. They also have tied the franchise record for wins in one season with 12. And set a new record for consecutive wins, 11 to snap a record that stood since 1934. Sheila Meredith, Sharice Steele Phillips has come in here. We're going to have a good conversation today. So I want you all to make sure that you put your family, your friends, and your play cousins down the street into the conversation. We're going to talk about what's been happening over there. Many of you may not know if you are a city resident or whatever, but there's been a whole big to-do taking place in Saginaw Township. And county officials and commissioners have been just kind of taking this in stride, some things that you won't be surprised of that we often see. Almabal Collier, shout out to you. Absolutely love you. Haven't talked to you forever. To my own mother, love, grace, hair, grease, and hair peace, or whatever we're going to call it. We certainly thank each and every one of you. Keep coming in. Keep celebrating together with us. This is not just my show. This is our platform to talk about what happens in our community. Also, what's on my mind, when a community comes together, great things can happen. On this weekend, last week, we were talking about why can't we work together? And that's a conversation. I was unable to get some of those leaders in together so that we could talk about what's going on. But I really want to bring some of these leaders together and finish that conversation that we started on last week. But something that made me happy on this week did take place. And it was a situation in which there was some collaboration, some integration, sharing of information, and all of that great stuff. Shout out to community leaders, Councilman Ostash, Mayor Moore, And then also my young brother, who is all over the place doing so many things. If you have been anywhere over there on Perkins near, I think it's 22nd Street, you will see that something great is happening over at CAC, the Community Action Center of Saginaw County. There is a great build out that's taking place under his leadership. Hurley T.J. Coleman, certainly want to thank you. We were able to come together over the course of this weekend and meet some community needs. There was a lot of understanding of what the resources were that we have available, identifying and utilizing these community resources to be able to make change happen and to meet the needs in their dire state. And so I want to say shout out to all of you for working together, for the phone calls and making sure that we were able to do what it is that we are to do as community leaders, and that is to show up for the community. So shout out once again to Councilman Ostash, who brought me into the loop, our Mayor Moore, and then also Hurley T.J. Coleman over there at CAC doing amazing things. I'm excited about what you're doing and seeing building always is a sign of growth, new life and new activities. So continue to do what you're doing. Many of you may not realize exactly what the purpose of CAC has been, but it has been a staple since its existence, because so many resources and opportunities and things that were needed in homes and communities that were shortcoming, CAC was created for that purpose. And ever since its existence, and probably more recently, there have been so many attempts to remove funding, take away things that were necessary, and to collaborate or consolidate, I should say, their resources around communities that were not designed to host or to do what it is that they do. So keep doing what you're doing. Hurley T.J. Coleman, we greatly appreciate it. And I want to say this because this is so important to those that are coming in. The assets that community organizations have, we often think like, oh, that's their money. But the reality of it is, an individual who manages assets that were given both by federal government and by state entities, it's important to realize that these assets, and I'm talking about dollars, they are not our dollars. They are the community's dollars. And I think that sometimes we fall short and we fail to remember that the dollars that come in our community, even though we are given a fiscal responsibility to manage them and to have oversight and to make sure that they reach elements of programming that are important to the community, those dollars are for the community. And so we need to make sure that we're doing what we can to really make sure that we are putting those dollars in the hands, into the pockets, to the homes, to the streets, where those dollars come from. They are not our dollars. They belong to our communities. So shout out to all of those who are out there doing great work. Next, I want to talk a little bit about a farewell speech. And it's only appropriate when someone has served well and done so much for a community, you say thank you. And I want to talk about this because it's really exciting. What's up, Yet? Haven't seen you in a minute, but it's good to see you here in social media land. But a farewell speech of Congressman Dan Kildee. We know that he has decided to end a decades-long servanthood in politics. And I was able to catch his final speech, and it was a very moving speech. He thanked his constituents, which make up Michigan 8th District here. So that's all of us that are here in Saginaw, Bay City, and Flint, and a little bit further than just that. Some of Midland also falls within those lines. But he thanked his constituents, for their trust. Absolutely, you're correct, Andrea Foster. Such a good speech. And I think I actually was able to pick it up off of a feed that you put out there, talking about how you didn't think that you would be so emotional seeing it take place. Andrea Foster has been one of those individuals over the last year and a half that has been able to work with him. And that's how our connection started with the work that she was doing in this community. But he talked about friendships that he was able to forge. It was such a statesman message, but it was consistent with who I have known him to be over the years. And then he went on and he talked about the impact that he was able to make and bring to his district by fighting for funding and things that were important to this community. by the laws and legislation that he was able to make. Then he recounted something which I thought was absolutely beautiful. He recounted how he was blessed with the opportunity to carry the late, great John Lewis's vote to the floor. And he talked about how he was able to cast his vote, and then he was given that privilege that when Mr. Lewis had taken ill and could no longer physically be there, he was asked by Mr. Lewis to please carry his vote to the floor. And I thought that that was such a very heartfelt sentiment that he was sharing. He said that it was one of the most important and impactful moments that he has had as he has worked in public office, and something that not only he was proud to do, but something that changed him as an individual. So, we all know John Lewis. He said that it's good for us to get in some good and necessary trouble. I tend to always find myself in some. So that was an amazing and remarkable speech that he shared. Now, I want to get to some things that y'all got to make sure y'all paying attention to, because we talk, there's been a lot of conversation about what's happening and what's going to change with changings of administration. But there's a lot of things that are happening and have been happening already that you need to make sure that we're aware of. And one of those things is, I don't know if you've been paying attention, but a federal judge rejected the challenge to the Naval Academy's use of race as a part of the admissions process. And some of you may say, what's the big deal? And I want to share that with you. Shout out to my sister, Cheryl Walker, my dear sissy out there. Love you, love you, love you. What's important to know about this particular situation is this. I had a friend when I was at Michigan State University who was going to West Point Naval Academy. And he was so excited. He made the cut. And I remember that going in as a freshman and him going in, his first year during the academy, the prestige and the excitement that he had to be among a select few of individuals who were able to be honored to go into the Naval Academy. And West Point is one of the greatest institutions in the nation. And he was just talking about the relationships and the friendships that he was able to forge. The reason why it's important for those types of institutions to have a race as a part of the admission process is not because, okay, you're Black, you get in, that the qualities or the standards are different or they're lowered. It's because statistics have proven, and they've done this with the military, that since we have gone to a more diverse military, the military is stronger because that's what diversity does. It brings a greater amount of strength, a greater amount of perspective, greater ideas, a better talent base, and it brings a greater level of competition to the pool of candidates that we're working with. And to remove, to attempt to remove that type of thing from an institution that is so valuable to our national defense is absolutely ludicrous. And I know some people say, well, they're taking away our opportunity. No, we're making sure that access, and the reason I say this is because access is so important in those institutions. When we talk about four-star generals, when we talk about legacy, institutions like those naval academies, are so important because usually a grandfather goes, and then his father goes, and then his son goes, and they build these legacies of individuals that were going through it. And when you have had a legacy that went before you, that means consistent individuals, usually 3 generations or more that have gone for, there is a benefit to you and your application status when you go in. And so there is a benefit against folks of color because of not being able to be allowed to serve in those capacities in times past. And so when we bring race into the conversation and how race can be a leveling factor when we begin to look at the top candidates, we then understand that we provide access to a community that has historically been denied access to those places. And so now there is a target, even in our military, of changing that dynamic. I told you all before, go out and watch the movie with Michael Douglas, Falling Down, because what we see a lot of folks running around afraid that they are losing their place in their country, and they don't want there to be equity. They don't mind it being equal now, meaning that everybody gets the same benefit, no lead, but they do not want to give away their historic benefit or their historic privilege. And so we're seeing this take place in a lot of our major institutions. And it's important that we stay awake. Don't fall asleep. There's a whole joke about, it's funny how when we have something that happens in the community, when we have terminology that we use that is a part of our BEV, Black English vernacular. For those of you who don't know what that is, it is called slang. It's what we use when we communicate with each other. We come up with terminology. And the funny thing is, it is so interesting when BEV enters into the mainstream America and they start using things. And so, they were using woke a couple of years ago, back in 2020, especially. Marco Rubio down in Florida, it's where woke comes to die. And they did not have a keen sense of what woke is. And in most cases, the majority culture never really captures or gets a clear understanding of how we communicate or what we mean by the things that we say. But they're so quick to use those things. And so, but what I will say is don't fall asleep. Don't fall asleep in these years to come, because there's going to be a lot of opportunities for you to stand up and fight for the rights that we have been given, for the things that we have fought for. Why do we have to fight for them again? But I'm going to tell you, if I got to fight again, I'll fight again to hold on to the freedoms and the beliefs that we have, that America is a great country. When we all are invited to the table to really work out this amazing experience that we refer to as democracy. All right, I want to bring y'all up to speed on a couple more things, and then we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to talk about the situation that's happening out there with county commissioners and their little wrongdoings and misdeeds against one beautiful young Black woman, Amalia Bradley, in her new position as one of the township trustees. We'll get to that in just a second. But but in Oklahoma City, that's what I wanted to talk about. Oklahoma City, you all remember, I reported to you all back a while back that there was a situation that there was an Oklahoma City officer that has now been charged. His name is Sergeant Joseph Gibson. He has been charged with aggravated assault and battery following the use of force. Check this out. Against a 71-year-old man, which is called Lick Vu. And I was blown away by this. I'm all for folks being able and law enforcement. I told you before, when I call 911 and I need assistance, I would like for a law enforcement officer to show up. But there is a problem, and I'm going to keep talking about this. As much as I come from a paramilitary family, and family who has spent a number of years in law enforcement, I am not against the blue, but however, I think that there are some changes that need to take place to how we do certain things. I've been an advocate for those things both in my local city and will continually toot the horn and blow the trumpet in Zion, if you will, for the changes that need to take place in our community and other places. We are continually seeing these situations, and I know we call them bad actors or folks in a bunch, but I think that what often happens is we have folks who are not aware and not who don't understand communities being officers in places that they fear. You cannot adequately serve a community if you fear a community. And so what happens, according to the story, is that the 71-year-old man, he was having a confrontation about what was going on in the community, and he had gotten into an accident and received a ticket. He put his hand on the officer, this man who's nearly 40 years his junior or so. And in that time, he used a takedown. And when he took this 71-year-old man down to the concrete, down to the asphalt, he broke his neck, as well as causing him to have a brain bleed. Now, many of us have an understanding. We can treat kids a particular way. We can teach young adolescents a certain way. We teach teenagers. We can handle them certain differently. But when we get to our seniors, we have to handle with care. But when folks are afraid of you, or when folks do not care or have the sense of respect for those in our village, then we see these types of things taking place. And I know that officers often have to deal with some tough situations, but I think that there is a big difference between a 71-year-old man and someone who is a real threat to society in the community. But I want to read this to you because it gives us an understanding of how many people who don't get it feel and what takes place in this situation. During the accident investigation, an argument ensued between Vu and Sergeant Gibson, and this is coming from the Oklahoma City Times, over a traffic ticket which ensued. According to the Oklahoma County District Attorney's Office, the confrontation escalated, leading Sergeant Gibson to perform a takedown maneuver, causing Vu's head to hit the pavement. Vu was taken to the hospital with significant injuries, including a broken neck and a brain bleed. Mark Nelson, president of the Oklahoma City Fraternal Order of Police, left the following statement. Now, y'all got to pay attention to this statement, because this statement is everything to me when you are trying to understand the dynamics and how people are feeling. The OKC, Fraternal Order of Police, stands behind Sergeant Gibson, who handled this call for service with professionalism. A 71-year-old man ends up on his back with a concussion to his head and a broken neck, but the officer handles this, according to the Fraternal Order of Police in Oklahoma City, with professionalism. It is very disappointing to see a police officer face felony charges for actions taken in good faith while serving in the line of duty. You know, they want to have it that they can do whatever they want to in office, and they can respond however without any repercussions for how their actions take place or impact those in the community. Sergeant Gibson followed his de-escalation training and protocol when assaulted. If so, they need to throw him out the window. We recognize the injuries that Mr. Vu sustained. We're sympathetic to him and his family. However, we believe strongly that every detail of this incident matters and needs to be considered. We are deeply concerned about the impact this charging decision will have on the ability of officers to rely on their training and professional judgment to preserve order and protect the public. I'm not sure what's going on here, but there is a need to reevaluate who the public and who needs to be protected. And so what he's saying, in essence, is that he is dismayed because now that you have one charge, if this charge goes through, it changes the standard. There's something called precedence that is very valuable in these situations. And when we have one DA or one judge that's willing to change what has been the norm and begin to hold people accountable, it then opens the door for other people in the future to be held accountable. I think we're on the path to justice being served. I am glad that our district attorney had to come to this conclusion, said Thuan Nguyen, a member of the Vietnamese community. Gibson's attorney, Mike Hunter, reiterated the organization's stance that Gibson was following his training. This is what they're saying is his training. So there is a need to do something if this is how we're trained. Really quick before we go to commercial break, I want to bring you an update to the story of Sonia Massey. We've also covered here. Sonia Massey was the African-American woman who was in her own home. She thought she heard an intruder. She called the police officers. They came in, and she went over to take a pot off of the oven, off of the stove, and she said something about she wanted to take the pot off the stove, and the officer said, yeah, you want to do that? And she said something in the name, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, or something to that effect, and ended up dead inside of her own apartment. They are now, the family is now outraged because there is a possibility of this family seeing that the officer that did this harm to her may be able to get out on some type of leave pre-trial. So the father was like, I saw the press conference. He's like, yeah, you want to get out? Come on out. We got people waiting for you to come out. We pray that you come out. But we're going to keep our eyes on this particular situation, take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to get into the conversation that I believe many of you are tuned in to listen to. And where that's the conversation, I'm going to call it Spitzer versus the community, because it's not just Amaya Bradley. She said that she's prayed for the brother and she's given it to God. But we're going to talk about it as a community, what you can do to get involved, because it's time for us to mobilize. We'll take a quick commercial break and we'll be back with more of Straight Talk.
You're listening to Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1.
Ho, 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 Mid-Michigan. Jolly old Ryan Wasik here from Bell Wasik GMC Buick, your only local Buick dealer and home of the lifetime warranty. This holiday season, forget that old elf. If you want the gift of a nicer, newer car, do it yourself. Right now, bring me your old ride, and I'll give you up to $3,000 more than Kelley Blue Book value, based on the price of the car you pick. That's right. If your old ride is horrible, bring it to me, and I'll give you way more than it's worth. See, at Bell Wasik GMC Buick, we're all about affordability. reliability, my solution specialists are jolly old elves. We work hard to help you find a car you love for a monthly payment you can afford. So be your own Santa. Bring me your old ride, and I'll give you up to $3,000 more than Kelley Blue Book value, based on the price of the car you pick. But hurry, Christmas only comes once a year, and so does this deal. I'm Ryan Wasik, your dealer for the people. See all my merry and bright rides at RyanApproved.com. That's RyanApproved.com.
Credit requires bank approval. Vehicle price determines actual trade allowance. Negative equity may be refinanced.
This holiday season, we invite you to join our Alpha Media family of stations along with Covenant Kids and Impact Saginaw Credit Unions every Wednesday now through December 18th at 6 p.m. as we brighten up the holidays for the kids that are hospitalized at Covenant Healthcare in Saginaw. At 6 p.m., we'll shine our lights for 2 minutes toward the windows where the kids are hospitalized. The first 100 to join us get free flashlights to shine from Impact Saginaw Credit Unions. Local first responders will all be there shining the lights from their vehicles, too. Plus, you'll enjoy the live entertainment from local choirs and schools, treats from Cops and Donuts, and hot chocolate provided by Covenant as you arrive around 5:45.
There'll be plenty of cookies.
And with your help, each child will receive a toy as you donate new unwrapped toys at participating Impact Saginaw Credit Union locations. Help bring the lights before Christmas for a Covenant kid this holiday season.
Happy holidays.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? I think my battery's dead. With free battery testing and charging, we can help you get back on the road.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
So what if I need a new one? We have the right Duralast battery for you, only at AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
And what about my old battery? We can recycle it right here at America's #1 battery destination.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Whether you're ordering wings for the game, whipping up a 7-layer dip, or ordering pizza, there's something about football that makes you want to eat. And this football season, Uber Eats has the best deals on game day food. No matter what you're craving, from 2-for-1 pizza to buy one, get one wings, Uber Eats will be dropping new deals each week, all season long. Uber Eats, official on-demand delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Attention, are you or a loved one suffering complications after taking Ozempic or Wegovy? These medications may be linked to serious gastrointestinal illnesses. If you've been hospitalized and diagnosed with gastroparesis, chronic vomiting, deep vein thrombosis, or experienced intestinal blockage requiring surgery, you may be entitled to significant compensation. Call 888-900-LAW-1 today for a free consultation. That's 888-900-LAW1. Paid for by Tort Defenders. Tort Defenders is not a law firm and does not provide legal services.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time, and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a gas station at the next exit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FRIEND to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRIEND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRIEND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Our 12 deals of Christmas are going on right now. Escape the cold and dive into savings at Cazadores Mexican Grill and Cantina. We're giving you half off a gift certificate to Cazadores Mexican Grill and Cantina, originally $20, now available for just $10. Cazadores is located inside the Fashion Square Mall. Make sure to give their birria food a try. Don't miss out on this fantastic deal. Visit RocketGrabPlus.com to claim yours today.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Shop limited time deals on last minute gifts now at Lowe's. Save $50 on a Werner 6-foot aluminum stepladder. Was $89, now just $39. Plus, get your choice of select Craftsman V20 tools for only $39. And save time and money with free shipping on orders of $45 or more. Because Lowe's knows deals. Offers valid 12/5 through 12/11. While supplies last. Selection varies by location. Free standard shipping not available in Alaska and Hawaii.
It's Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You're back with more of Straight Talk, and I am your host for the remainder of this hour, Kareem Bowen. I'm excited to have you guys with us. So many of you out there in the social media stream. Let's get into this conversation. So many of you have come in since we started. So shout out to Sabrina Hare, old friend, MSU. Where have you been, old friend? Annie Babers, great to see you today. Didn't get to put our arms around you, but good to see you. Love you. Shayla Crawford, I hope all is well with you. Orlando Jones, my guy. William Waters, the coach of the year, the man, the myth, the legend. So good to have you. And then Annie, keeping it moving, green car. God bless you all as you come into the social media stream. So I want to talk about our main topic on today. I'd like to bring you up to speed with what's happening around the world. We're going to tap in to something that's happening here in our own community. And I think that you need to be aware of it. And I want to begin. Let me preface this conversation by saying I love my community. I love the richness. I love what I believe is what we have done, what we have become as a community. When I think about my community, good evening, Ms. Palmer, all of you that are out there. When I think about my community, I'm excited about it. And when I say Saginaw, I mean all of Saginaw, all of it, the county, the township, the city. I love my city. And as I was thinking about what to do and looking at opportunities when I was coming really to just find out where do I want Homestead to be, there was no question that I wanted to be back home. And I didn't understand why I wanted to be here before. But now I understand why I'm here. I'm excited to be here. And I hope those of you who are listening understand how an amazing community that we are. We are a neighborly community. We are a growing community. There are so many things that we have that are helping us become the best Saginaw that we can be. However, as times change, there are certain elements of what happened in the past, certain elements of how we view things, and certain elements that are hard to shake. And so today we're going to talk about one of those elements that is very hard to shake. And I want you to understand that when we talk about this conversation, I'm having this conversation. This is a humanity issue. This is how we see us. You saw the movie How When They See Us. This is one of those situations because I don't think for one bit that the majority of our community feels the way or would engage the way that we see. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of people because when you like somebody or someone's your friend, there is a rush to protect and to take care of them and say, oh, it was just a mistake. But I don't know about y'all. I'm tired of, it was just a mistake. Let's breeze over this and let's keep it moving. That's not what we're getting ready to do. So we're going to get into it. Let's get into it. All right. So a Saginaw County Board of Commissioners member attempted to make a point about performing in the election. So there was a situation in which a man who happens to be a county commissioner, Mr. Rich Spitzner, I know y'all thought, hey, I wasn't going to talk about it, but we're going to talk about it today. Mr. Rich Spitzer, not Spitzner, Rich Spitzner, Spitzer. But let me make sure I'm getting it right. Rich Spitzner, who is a county commissioner, he was hoping to make a point in terms of who we are electing into public office. Mr. Spitzner, he did something that I think is very vulgar in any capacity, no matter what office you're running for. Shame on you. Our leaders should be better than this. When he didn't get the results that he thought he wanted, which was he was taking a stance for his wife, Connie Rapun, who failed at becoming or getting voted in as a trustee in Saginaw Township. He went in, Miss Bradley, who was one of the 4 seats of the township's 7-member governing body. She is a credit union teller. God bless her. She's doing that, working with money my baby can count. She was able to come in with a tally of 11,517 votes. That is, for someone who is just getting into politics, she is not a historic politician. She is a youngin. Now, I have told you all a million times before. This is why I am so frustrated with what we're getting ready to talk about, is because even with this election and number 47 getting in now, I am always an advocate when we see our young people get involved and take root and excitement in our political systems, when they are part of the system and their voices are being utilized. So she is a young woman that has decided to do this. I didn't know it was happening. I found out that she was actually going to do this when I looked at the ballot, and she received 13 votes more than the fifth place finisher who lost out on the seat. Now, that fifth place finisher happened to be Miss Connie Rapun. And what took place after there is one for the history books, right? We're checking it off and keeping it moving. What took place was that Mr. Rich Spitzner then made a post. And in his post, he shared, hey, so this is what we are doing. This is what we're electing, as to say that the individual that won the race or won against his wife was ill-equipped and should not be considered a candidate and should have never been voted in by the community, but we don't do our research. That's what it was about, and so we don't see this. And this was another African-American woman that had some very provocative photos on her page. And there was very little that was consistent or that would connect Miss Bradley to this other lady whose name was Amaya Bradley. The only thing that they had in common was that they were Black women. They didn't look alike. There was no similarities whatsoever. But this is what happens when you allow anger and fear and bitterness to drive you. You go out and you make these decisions. And so now he is profusely apologizing to a crosstown politician who was the target of this. And then we're talking about Amalia Bradley. And so when we look at this particular situation, he believes that he is able to handle and to continue in his position as a county commissioner. Miss Bradley, when she was asked by TV5, News 5, she has been very quiet about this, but I did catch one of her statements, which I thought really spoke to the quality of individual that she was. She's the minor in this particular situation. And when I say minor, she's not underage, but I mean, she's the younger individual. But she is showing so much poise and grace by how she handles it. And the township of Saginaw is much better by her presence and by her maturity. She said, you know what? I've given it up to God. I've prayed for him and I'm moving on. However, and rightly so, the community, many individuals, Vanessa Gara, Councilwoman Carly Hammond, Craig Douglas, who used to be the superintendent out of Carlton. Hey, Craig, how you doing? Haven't talked to you in a little bit. And many other people in the community, friends, family, folks that she didn't even know, have begun to speak out in great outrage. And as we move forward, the post that Mr. Spitzer, Rich Spitzer, posted had now been deleted. But the problem is, Mr. Spitzer, you don't realize that you're operating in a time that may be very different. You can't delete it like you could a message. You can't untake away it and undo it now since it's been done, because your message has been screenshot and shared all over the county and quite possibly the country, that we would now live in a time that we are still seeing this type of thing take place. Now, I want to talk about why this is problematic. And many people will say, hey, this is, this is a race thing. And I do believe, in my personal thought, that race is a key factor in how this happened. But it also is a problem with how they see us, how people are seen, and what people believe, the audacity of certain individuals and what they think they have the right to be able to do. I'm looking out to William Waters says he should resign. His true colors showed in the situation. What's up to my brother Terry Reed? If you all have comments, you read and you post them, I'm going to share them. But the problem with this is this. We are now living in a day and age, and I say this often, and I want to just be very clear what I mean by this. we live in a time and a day and an age where folks are no longer wearing white hoods and white sheets and things of that nature. And I often tell people that, we no longer do that. We've given up the sheets, and now we often see that we've picked on and put on suits and three-piece suits and things of that nature. But I really believe that the heart of the majority of our community, the heart of many Americans, have changed, and we understand the beauty of having everybody be a part of the process. However, there are some outliers that they may not be what we would call outwardly racist. And I know many of the detractors who have come to his defense, oh, he's a good man, he apologized, what next? Well, what next? Well, what I believe is next is that he should resign. I believe that the full force of this community, because this is not just about one black woman, but this is about an ideology that we are above in this community, an ideology that we should not allow to take place. And oftentimes we make amends and we give space and then grace to people because we like them or they're our friend or they've been around for a long time. But we as a community don't have any space for anything that is going to divide us any further. With many of the things that we have on the horizon, is very important and imperative for us to make sure that we do everything we can to come together. We're going to continue this conversation. I'm going to talk about what you can do as a resident with a special hearing session coming up on Tuesday at 5 p.m. I believe it's on the second floor, the commissioner's office in the county courthouse. I got to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. Stay, don't go away.
Welcome to Nada Yada Confessions. Natalie was about to tell us if she ever found the one. Go ahead, Natalie.
Actually, I found two. With Metro, I got the Samsung Galaxy A35 5G and the Galaxy Watch FE.
Get even more this holiday season. Now at Metro by T-Mobile, get both the Samsung Galaxy A35 5G and the new Galaxy Watch FE for just $99.99. Visit your Metro store today for this limited time deal. Plus tax. Bring your number and ID. Sign up for Metro Flex Plus and add a watch line.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Shop limited time deals on last minute gifts now at Lowe's. Save $50 on a Werner 6-foot aluminum stepladder. Was $89, now just $39. Plus, get your choice of select Craftsman V20 tools for only $39. And save time and money with free shipping on orders of $45 or more. Because Lowe's knows deals. Offers valid 12/5 through 12/11. While supplies last. Selection varies by location. Free standard shipping not available in Alaska and Hawaii.
Make this holiday season scent-sational. Fragrance is the perfect gift for someone special on your list, and Ulta Beauty has them all. Shop classic scents from Valentino, Burberry, and Carolina Herrera. Plus, check out can't-miss perfume kits from Ariana Grande. And wait, there's one more sweet deal. With a fragrance purchase of $70 or more, get the coziest plush robe or throw, valued at $70 while supplies last. So head to an Ulta Beauty store today. Get all the best gifts, all at Ulta Beauty.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-838-6767. 800-838-6767. 800-838-6767.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
William is one of millions of Americans who uses GoodRx to save on the cost of their prescriptions.
My oldest daughter, Camilla, 2 days old, she had to have open heart surgery. All of a sudden, she's on 5 different medications. It adds up at the end of the month. Me and the pharmacist got so tight. She said, GoodRx save you a lot of money. Saving that extra $200-300 a month. We're able to do all these extra activities, so it puts less stress on our household, and it puts less stress on our pockets.
Download the free app or visit GoodRx.com and start saving today. GoodRx user compensated for their time. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting rules for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Consult a doctor prior to use.
Wow, you look amazing. What have you been doing?
I'm sure you've heard of Ozempic, Wegovy, and the other GLP-1 medications, right? Well, I found this great company called Zelfie. If you qualify, their providers can prescribe medications like Ozempic and Wegovy and other GLP-1 medications that are 80 to 90% less expensive, all 100% online.
I can get GLP-1 medications for 80 to 90% less and do it all online? No doctor's office or pharmacy?
Yes, Zelfie can provide semaglutide or tirzepatide, the active ingredients in Ozempic and other expensive GLP-1s, but for 80 to 90% less and shipped directly to your door.
How do I get started with Zelfie?
Just send them a text.
Text REACH to 200-300 to get started today with Zelfie. Get the same active ingredients in Wegovy or Ozempic, but for 80 to 90% less and 100% online. Don't wait. Text REACH to 200-300 right now for a link to your exclusive offer. Text REACH to 200-300. That's REACH to 200-300. REACH to 200-300.
This holiday season, Capital One reminds you to give yourself the gift of 1.5% cash back with the Capital One Quicksilver Card.
Can I earn 1.5% cash back on birds?
Birds?
What if you sent your true love 2 turtle doves plus a partridge in a pear tree?
Sure, but why would anyone want that?
The song was very convincing.
Earn 1.5% cash back on all your holiday purchases with the Capital One Quicksilver Card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Michigan's winter forecast is snow, snow, and more snow. And for a little variety, ice. Since that means slippery roads, stay safe by following these driving tips. Don't use cruise control on ice and snow. Use turn signals sooner to give others more time to react. Keep your car's fluids, tires, and wipers well maintained. And most important of all, drive slow on ice and snow. Sponsored by the Michigan Office of Highway Safety Planning and the Michigan Association of Broadcasters.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Our 12 deals of Christmas are going on right now. Escape the cold and dive into savings at Cazadores Mexican Grill and Cantina. We're giving you half off a gift certificate to Cazadores Mexican Grill and Cantina, originally $20, now available for just $10. Cazadores is located inside the Fashion Square Mall. Make sure to give their birria food a try. Don't miss out on this fantastic deal. Visit RocketGrabPlus.com to claim yours today.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
It's Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on Kiss 107.1.
All right, this is Kareem. We're back with our final segments of Straight Talk. All right, so what can we do other than complain? Because this is what I want to say. Oftentimes when things happen to us in our community, we're outraged, we're angry, we riot, we do whatever, to show. I always say that riots are a tantrum of the soul, which means that we get frustrated, and because we don't have any recourse, we're angry, we're mad. But I want to say this to you. That's what many people are counting on. They're counting on us just to be upset, angry, and mad. But I'm going to challenge those of you who are listening that can and are able to take action. When you take action, Miss Amaya Bradley doesn't have to speak because her voice is multiplied by the power and the strength of the group. And so I want to do that. I saw William Waters, before I get to what I want to say, William Waters said, she got elected in the township. Some people feel we don't belong in leadership out there. Miss Erica Taylor then comes in and she says, some don't feel we belong out there at all. Hoo-doo-hoo. Sharice Steele Phillips, she comes in. Y'all know I ain't got no sense. Completely unacceptable behavior in someone that should be held to a higher standard of business and professional, which calls his ability to function in the role that he's been given into question. Absolutely. So this is what we can do. Because there have been a number of sessions. The last session basically said, he is elected into office. And so they cannot remove him because of there's not a provision to do so outside of the government recall. The way that things are happening. Terry Reid, we're way too forgiving. Forgive others quickly, but won't forgive ourselves. And so what that means is, so now they're having a question. They cannot remove him outside of a recall, which would not take place for some time. But they're having a conversation about sanctions, what they can do to sanction him. Sanctions are great. They're slaps on the wrist to me, but we'll see what happens or what takes place here. I really believe in the power of a movement. And I think that if you're interested in doing so, this is what we should do as a community. You can stand up or sign to have a request for public comment. This is from the audience. This must be made to the Board of Commissioners office by 12 noon on the day of the meeting, which would be Tuesday. So you have till Tuesday at 12 noon to sign up to make a public comment. The commissioner's office number is 989-790-5267. Or you can email them at BOC, Board of Commissioners, at SaginawCounty.com. We have in the stream, thank you. One of our commissioners is listening and is sharing the information for me. I certainly appreciate it. Lisa Coney, a special Saginaw County Commissioners meeting will be held Tuesday, December 10th at 5 p.m. Request for public comment. This is what I was just saying. From the audience must be made to the Board of Commissioners office, 989-790-5267. Once again, 989-790-5267. Write that down. Share this with a friend. Or you can email boc@SaginawCounty.com prior to 12 noon on Tuesday. So I think that we must go. We must make our voices known. I think that we have to make our presence known. I think that we have to let the community know. And I want you to understand something. It's not just Black folks that are outraged, but the entire community is outraged. We're going to close out, but I want to say this about little Amaya. There's something that we say in the community: you got the right one and the wrong one all at the same time. I've known this young woman since her birth. She has been a stellar person. She is someone that I respect. She encourages and empowers other young people to understand who they are and to pursue great heights in their lives. She has been running a conference for young women as a young woman for a number of years, and I happen to be one of those mentors. So, Mr. Spitzer, you have won the prize. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, and you get the clown award for today. God bless you all. Take care of yourselves. Grace and peace.
You've been listening to Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1.